Hello, in this video we're going to talk about how to do a free background check in the state of Washington. To get started, visit washingtonpublicrecords.com and I will have a link in the description. You can click on that or just type it into your browser. On the home page you'll notice a list of public databases available within the state of Washington, and I'll get into in a moment I'll get into how to use these when it comes to background checking. And then I'm going to talk about how to research criminal records. Also for free, and that's going to be the main focus, is just doing everyday types of background checks for everyday life situations. So I'm not going to talk about any specific type of a background check, but just for everyday people, everyday life situations. So one example would be when it comes to utilizing these public record databases. Let's say you have a remodeling project that you're planning and you want to hire a contractor. You're about to put a lot of money on the line. What you can do is you can come down and research a contractor. You can search him by license, or if you got a name or business name, you can make sure he actually does have a license and everything is legit. How long has he had it for? Things like that. Another thing you can do is you could do the same thing when it comes to a business. So this could be done for anything. There's a lot of people that have state licenses, state businesses, and before you put any money down, maybe you want to do a quick little rundown and see if everything is official. You know, is there an actual business name registered? How long have they had the business for? You can check who the owners of the business are, verify, connect the dots, whatever it takes. So another thing that you can do is you could check court records, and particularly civil records. You could look up the business or the owner, see if there's maybe any lawsuits in the past, maybe a vendor that they had issues with, or maybe a customer that was not happy with the work and ended up taking them to court. So you could check for little things like that before you put down a lot of money on the line. You could potentially make a better decision if you catch maybe something that doesn't look too good, whether it's searching a license, a business, or just looking at court records, and give yourself a peace of mind. So that's one way of using the public record databases. So let's get into criminal records, and criminal records are probably the most sought after when it comes to background checks. Pretty much any kind of a background check, it's I would say it's like the backbone of background checking. So let's see what we can do with criminal records for free in the state of Washington. So let's start with inmate search. Hover over other records, click inmate search, and and my internet for some reason today is running really slow. And so what happens is criminal record starts pretty much every time with an arrest. So police department, sheriff's department arrests somebody, and they get charged with a crime. They get taken to a local jail, typically managed by the sheriff's department. They get booked, they get fingerprinted, their picture gets taken, they get officially verified, and they get officially charged. Sometimes they'll post bail, sometimes they'll get released, sometimes they'll be kept in jail until they see a judge. But everybody has to go see a judge. So that's where you can capture that criminal information, is at the court level, because everybody will eventually have to go through that. Now you can also research the actual arrest. So for instance, King County here, all you need is just a last name, and I can try to do a quick search. It looks like they want me to give them a little bit more information here, but as you can see, you have people that were released, people that are still in jail there, and you can look these individuals up. It gives you, now this doesn't necessarily mean that they're guilty, they still have to see a judge, but it does give you arrest information. And so multiple counties will have their own local database where you can look this information up. It's not always going to be these databases, they don't keep the records for too long, so keep that in mind. So let's move on to court records. Again, hover over other records, and what you'll notice is at the court level you have multiple court systems, and anything from the Supreme Court to the municipal court, and each of these courts does their own processes specific cases. So you probably don't have to worry about Supreme Court or the Court of Appeals. The cases that don't get solved in the lower level courts will get pushed up here, and that's a very, very small amount of cases, typically like pretty extreme situations. But you're looking at felonies, and you're looking at lower level crimes. And so anything from municipal, district to superior. So you're looking at three different databases here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on superior, and then the district and municipal, we have the same link for those. And as you can see, you can do a statewide search here. I can just maybe try something very general here. And as you can see, I didn't have to register for an account. I didn't have to put in a credit card or anything like that. The information is free. So you might want to actually narrow it down. I didn't really, if you got a first name, last name, middle initial, like things like that, you want to make sure like you put as much information in there as possible. And so as you can see, you're getting the parties involved here, disposition events. You have the like a timeline of the hearings, and look at how far back this goes to 1993. So court records, you can search. I mean, I've seen it go as far as 1980. So typical background checks might check 7 years back, 10 years back. So with this, you can go way back. And as you can see, you got a little timeline of what's happening in the trial. So that was the superior. Now you can also do the same thing with district. And another thing to consider is I'm going to click on the background check page now. You also have at the county level, you're also able to research information. So each of the so you have your statewide resources, and then you have your databases at the county level. Now the county level is obviously that's where the records start, and so it's probably, if you are focusing in on a particular county, you want to do that research at the county level. So like a court of clerk's office will typically manage a database, and I can kind of quickly, okay, so for instance, King County, you do have to register for an account here, and I got to make the video short, so I'm not going to go through the process of registering, but you can do that. And as you can see, they do adult criminal, but they also do civil cases. So I'm talking specifically about criminal information, but in certain situations when you are doing background checks, let's say you want to find out if somebody has any maybe financial lawsuits. Maybe you're looking up somebody that you want to do business with, for example, or maybe you're going on a date. You want to see if somebody's got a divorce or something like that. You can research this information using like civil records and family law cases and things like that. So let's just try a different county here, and you can select. As you can see here, look at this. They go all the way down to 1980. So I'm going to just try, and I'm doing county level research. So these databases are pretty detailed. They're great to use. I mean, not like that the statewide aren't, but I personally prefer this if I can zoom in on something. So I'm just going to try Smith, and I'll just see what happened in 2021 here. And let's do criminal. And yep, so the internet connection is fairly slow right now, but we should get something going here in a second. And if it doesn't go, I'm just gonna abandon this and move on to the next step and then come back. Okay, so like I said, you have quite a few counties here that you can work with. We cover the most populous counties here, and we're planning to add more. And then again, you can also try the statewide portal. So what you want to do is you want to zoom in on like a particular county. If you are doing county research, county level research, you want to figure out like where the person lives. maybe where they have lived before in the past, if you can get access to that information, maybe where they work, and then maybe also try the surrounding counties as well. So, you know, you might not be able to research every single county, but if you can, kind of focus in on a particular area where you're more likely to get a hit, you can just focus on those. So let's take a look at one of these cases here, and it looks like you have your individual or the case information here, and it looks like you have two people here, domestic violence protection. You got a timeline here, the proceedings. So there's quite a bit of information here, and I believe this is a civil. Yeah, we need criminal information. So I don't know why the internet is so slow. Okay, here we go. So this is, I guess, a pretty serious case here. It's still open, so I won't necessarily get to show you if they were found guilty or not. It looks like it's still an ongoing case, and so you have like a little timeline here of what's happening. The arresting agency, you have your charges, and then of course the individual. So quite a bit of information you can pick up. Again, I didn't have to put in a credit card. I didn't have to register for an account in this database here. Like in some of them you will, like King County, you did have to register there, but a lot of these databases are pretty simple to use. You just come in, and if you got a name, you can start researching. So after the court case, what happens is there's a guilty or no guilty verdict, and you can also research where they end up. So for instance, if it's a serious crime, they will typically go to a prison, and if it's under 12 months, they will end up probably spending that time. So if it's just for like a few months, they will probably end up spending that time at like a local jail. So if you did want to look up whether they're in the prison system, the Department of Corrections in Washington has an opportunity for you to do that. Again, you just type in a name, and then you have a list of people. For instance, I just did something general here, Smith. So you have not too many details, but at least you can see where they are, what prison facility they're at, and just some basic information like that. One more database to consider is going to be the sex offender registry, and this one is also a statewide system. It's also free to use, and when it comes to background checking, obviously it's an important database to check as well, and it is also free. So we went over arrest information, the different criminal court case databases you have available to you in the state of Washington, and then of course booking information, and then the sex offender registry. So you got quite a few resources you can utilize for free when it comes to doing background checks. You also have lots of public databases available to you if you needed to check up on a license, check up on a business. There are so many different things that you can do, and a lot of these databases can be used absolutely free. So one more thing to consider is the name search box on top. Now, this is not a free tool, but it's a great tool you might consider using. Now, it pulls records from public databases, court record information, real estate information, criminal information, arrest information, financial records, things like bankruptcies, financial lawsuits. It has access to private databases as well, things like cell phone information, previous addresses, things like that. And so what it also does, it doesn't just pull records from the state of Washington, it goes outside the state. So it pulls records from multiple states, multiple databases, giving you like a nationwide type of a look into someone's past. And why is it great? Well, let's say, it's great because it saves you time. You don't have to bounce from database to database. But it also, for instance, if somebody has a criminal past in New Jersey or Massachusetts, now they move to Washington, and people do move around nowadays quite a bit. If you're just checking at the county level or the state level in Washington, you're not necessarily going to catch what happened in like New Jersey or Massachusetts. and some of that information could potentially be important. So if you want to make sure you got more bases covered, if you want to save a little time, it's a really awesome tool to use and add to your background checking arsenal. So once again, it's WashingtonPublicRecords.com. Come on down and get started on your free background check in the state of Washington. Thank you.